Well, what do we have here? It is your Fastlane review and results show. We just got done with Fastlane. We've had one title change and some pretty good done matches. This is one of the better pay-per-views so far that I've seen in a while. Definitely was better than the Fastlane we've had previously. I believe Cultaholic put a tweet out saying that this is by far the best Fastlane of all of the four that they have done. Of course, last year was headlined by Goldberg squashing Kevin Owens in like 21 seconds. So you can beat that easily when you have a six-pack challenge with who we had tonight. First match of the night, of course, was a Breezango and Ty Dillinger, who I guess is their in training stooge, versus the I don't even care about this match. I really didn't. They faced off against Gable, Benjamin, and Mojo Rawley. This match from the beginning was just a total comedy match, just a bunch of jokes. I did see they did show what Mojo Rawley called these guys pathetic and like they're treating their time on the main roster as a joke, because that's what WWE thinks of Breezango and Ty Dillinger as jokes. It was not even worth anything mentioning, but Breezango and Ty Dillinger win after Breezango hits, I believe, Mojo Rawley with some kind of knee shot. 1, 2, 3, don't really care. Moving on. First match of the night was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev. Dueling Rusev Day chants and Nakamura chants for this. Why WWE still has these guys portraying heels is beyond me. You had Aiden English come out with sounded like he was a new rap, instead of like his usual "It's Rusev Day" thing. He actually came out and did some kind of rap called "Columbus, a Crappy Town," which is nearby. I actually live in Ohio, and I don't know, but why these guys are still portrayed as heels is beyond me. Rusev Day is the most over tag team tandem or act in WWE outside of Daniel Bryan. Rusev has the reaction that they wish Roman Reigns would have, and he will not have. Speaking of that, before we get into this match, twice. This is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, okay? So why did we have highlights of Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle's match and Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match highlighted 2 nights? What was the point of it? There was no reason to have either of those highlighted tonight. That just shows how much of this show they actually had to spread out. They didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough matches to make up for the time to justify a 3-hour pay-per-view. So let's have 20 minutes showing you what happened last Monday for Roman Reigns and all his stuff that's going on. And let's show you what happened with Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Stephanie, and Triple H. Even though those were Raw brand shows, events. This is the last SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view before we go back to dual branding stuff, starting with Wrestlemania and moving on from there. So they did that tonight instead of, just throwing a match out there, which they tend to do that. Let's just highlight what happened on Raw, because this just shows how much of the show they did not care for. The match started out, you had dueling Rusev Day and Nakamura chants during this entire match. They did ask on the pre-show before this match, would Nakamura be the superstar to quell the Rusev Day chants, and obviously that did not happen. But it wasn't just all Rusev Day, it was Nakamura and Rusev Day. Nakamura wins this match mostly. They did have a good back and forth match here. Rusev did get a good bit of offense in here. It wasn't all just a one-sided affair. They had I think this match went 10-15 minutes, which was pretty good. It wasn't just a squash or anything to bury Rusev. Rusev really didn't get buried in this match. He did have a good showing, in my opinion. So Rusev being completely buried, it's not there yet, but he's getting there. I'm sure he'll be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And if they really wanted to give something to start the show off with, I would have Rusev win that match and actually do something with it, because Rusev Day is going to be over during the WrestleMania weekend, and I'm sure we'll hear Rusev Day chants at NXT. We'll hear Rusev Day chants at the Hall of Fame. We'll hear Rusev Day chants for the majority of the show. You have to have this guy on the main show. Multiple times Rusev tried to go for the Machka kick, but he missed it a couple times. He did get a couple stiff shots from Nakamura, but Rusev with some shots himself. Nakamura for a Kinshasa, but Rusev rolls him up for a 2 count. Goes for the accolade, but Nakamura rolls that up for a 2 count himself. Kinshasa gets turned into the Machka kick for only a 2 count. English outside, who looked like he had his robe on, his shirt on, just tears that off, all steamed and everything, because Rusev can't put Nakamura away. Good match. The match ends really, really interesting because Rusev goes for the accolade, but again, Nakamura gets out of that, shots it to the back of the head. Then he gets up and hits him with another one to the face. 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke Nakamura is your winner. No doubt in that. Everyone knew that was going to happen. But a lot of people were calling for this to be a squash match when, quite honestly, this wasn't a squash. This was a good back and forth. And Rusev looked strong and Nakamura looked strong. Just Rusev he wasn't the better man tonight. What will they do for Rusev? I don't know. Maybe they're going to do a ladder match for the U.S. title at the end of the night for WrestleMania, and maybe Rusev can be in there. Rusev should be featured at WrestleMania, and he should be the winner of whatever he does. Moving on, we have Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton for the United States Championship, the first of 4 title matches tonight. Both men have a stalemate at the beginning of the match, pretty much headlock by Roode, then a shoulder tackle by Roode. They both pretty much went back and forth at the beginning of this match, taunting and whatnot. Back elbow by Orton knocks the taste out of Roode's mouth. They lock up again, and Orton takes control a bit. Chop by Roode. Orton didn't like that one. It looked like Randy Orton actually got hit with a stiff chop. I mean, they do chop a certain way, but this first chop against the chest looked like it was a stiff shot because Orton just did not look happy one bit at all. He looked out of it for a minute. Orton goes for the RKO, but Roode exits the ring. Roode's taking his time to get back in the ring. Of course, championship advantage. If he wanted to, he could just walked off and been United States champion going into WrestleMania. They lock up again and they go back and forth, but Roode goes for the glorious DDT, and this time Orton leaves the ring. And we go back and see they show Jinder, and I knew as soon as Jinder Mahal showed up on the pre-show, which he did show up on the pre-show and say that he should be in this match tonight. And quite honestly, I thought they were going to pull a Ty Dillinger from Hell in a Cell, and we wouldn't have had a triple threat here. But rumors going out that they are going to have that saved for WrestleMania, and we'll have a triple threat match between Orton, Roode, and Jinder Mahal at WrestleMania. And by the time I get through with this match, you'll see where they're probably going that way. He was in the back, you saw, and here's the thing. During the pre-show, he came out with his black suit, black tie, black shirt, whatever, with his turban on, talking about how he should be in the match. Then we shoot back to this portion of the match, and he's in his wrestling gear, ready for action, even though he's not in this match. Orton with a suplex toss on the rope. Now Orton takes control and stomps Roode onto Roode and picks up Roode and kicks him to the gut. Tosses Roode into the corner, and Roode explodes out with a clothesline for a 1 count. Stomp in a knee to Orton for a 2 for Roode. Orton gets back up for a second, but Roode back in control of Orton. Roode kicks to Orton's gut and then tries to suplex Orton, who stops that and suplexes Roode himself. Roode starts hulking up, which, yes, everyone knows hulking up is anytime you start getting that second wind. Up on Orton, neckbreaker to Orton. Roode goes up top and hits a clothesline off the top rope, which you don't usually see him do that. Roode is calling for the glorious DDT and goes for it. Roode, who rolls it, but Orton reverses it and rolls him up for a 2 count. Now Orton with the clothesline, then a power slam to Roode but Roode rolls to the outside of the apron. Hangman DDT, which is his hanging DDT. I call it the Hangman DDT because they never really gave it a name, and it just sounds cool in my opinion. But Roode blocks that, who gets hung up on the top rope. Back in, Roode boots Orton, or hits a blockbuster, and then hits a blockbuster for a 2 count. Roode set into the apron, but Orton gets him and hits the Hangman DDT. Orton looks to go for the RKO, and as he's calling for it, Orton's in his position, but Roode blocks that and goes for a DDT, but Orton stops that and gets a pin for only a 2 count. Roode sends Orton to the outside. Roode comes out, then goes to get Orton. Roode goes to send Orton into the barricade, but then gets sent himself. Then, of course, this spot, just like Charlotte's moonsault, I swear it's written in the Orton's contract that he has to grab somebody, lift them up, and throw them onto the announce table or the barricade back first, and that's what he does here. Orton puts Roode on the top rope. Orton goes for a suplex off the top rope, but Roode blocks that. Blocks him. Roode goes for the sunset flip, but Orton originally blocks that, and Roode pulls him out a little bit more, and then finally hits the powerbomb for a 2 count. Roode going back up top, but Orton stops him and crashes Roode on the top rope. Orton goes for the superplex, and this was a superplex. Anytime you hear the announcers talk about a superplex off the top rope, and the person administrating the superplex is not going off the actual top rope, that is not a superplex. A superplex is from the top rope. Saxton actually calls Kevin Dunn. He actually says Kevin on the air. Like, I don't know if WWE... I know back in the Attitude Era, there's a couple times Triple H, who had some pull back then, and he does now, would call for Kevin Dunn to put a video screen up. But to have somebody like Byron Saxton actually say, Kevin, I want to see that again, on air was kind of a little bit shocking. I think Corey Graves didn't expect him to say that either, as he said something about it. So I think Saxton might get an earful for that one, or if he hasn't already. Both men trading blows now. Rude counters an uppercut into a backslide. Both go for the finishers, but Rude hits Orton with a double A spinebuster, which they don't call it a double A spinebuster like they do with Triple H, but it's the exact same move, so I don't know why they don't call that. Rude, for whatever reason, goes up top. This was one of the more blatant RKOs out of nowhere. Rude goes back up top, just jumps, doesn't look like he's really going to do anything, and gets hit with an RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, and Orton becomes a Grand Slam champion by winning the United States Championship, because he has, and if anyone doesn't know, the original Grand Slam champion used to be the World Tag Team titles, the WWE, WWF World Champion, Intercontinental Championship, and European title. The World Tag Team titles and the Intercontinental title are both retired. I mean, not the Intercontinental, the European title are both retired. And they haven't really had a quote-unquote Grand Slam champion recognized until WrestleMania 31, which is now the United States title, the Intercontinental title, the World title, the Universal title, or the World title, or both Raw or SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Orton needed the U.S. title, and he hasn't had the U.S. title at all in his career. And this is the first time in Randy Orton's career, actually, that he challenged himself for the U.S. Championship. I know back when they were doing the best of 5 between Chris Benoit and Booker T, Randy Orton was the substitute for Booker T for that U.S. title best of 5 series, but Randy Orton did not. But Randy Orton won the best of 5 series, the best of 7, or I think it was the best of 7 series for Booker T, but he didn't technically win the U.S. title. Booker T stayed as champion. So this is actually his first time winning, like being challenger for the U.S. Championship. So good on him. I didn't expect him to actually win this, but after the match, Jinder Mahal's music comes out. He comes out to the ring. He starts beating down on Randy Orton. Bobby Roode comes back in, hits a glorious DDT on Jinder Mahal, and then he hits a glorious DDT on Randy Orton. As he leaves frustrated, maybe this is a way to get him heel, I don't know, but we're going to see a triple threat match between these three at WrestleMania. Bank on it. And of course, we get the highlight of Monday Night Raw's announcement of Rousey's Mania match, blah, 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 blah. Then we get to a story, like we get to the back and we see Kevin Owens getting ready for his match. Sami Zayn comes in, says Monday night was not tonight. I said I was going to do this tonight, not on Monday. That was different. Trying to tell him I'll do the right thing, and Owens just walks off in disgust, not wanting to hear any blatant lies from Sami Zayn. See where that goes later on. Naomi and Becky Lynch versus Carmella and Natty. Could we please get Carmella into something that's not a onesie? That entire, whatever the hell she's wearing. I know they had her change her ring attire because it's the exact same style that Liv Morgan wears. When Liv Morgan since Liv Morgan came up, they had her change her wrestling attire, which I think is kind of asinine because Carmella came before Liv Morgan, but they wanted to have Liv Morgan have her attire, so they had Carmella change. At least cut the stomach piece out and make it a bathing suit or something looking thing, because that thing just looks awful. The match started out with this match I really didn't care about. Match ended with a super kick to Lynch after Natalya came up on the top apron with the Money in the Bank briefcase to distract Becky Lynch. Carmella with the super kick. Carmella wins. Anybody thought she was going to cash in tonight? That ain't happening. You're not going to have the Money in the Bank cash winner come out, win a match, and then go cash in. It just doesn't work like that. Now, rumors are going around for Carmella that she's going to go to WrestleMania. They're going to pull a Seth Rollins, but she's not going to be successful. There's actually conflicting reports. There's some saying she's going to come out, cash in, and pin Charlotte and keep the title away from Asuka. And I'm like, no, they're going to have her come out. So we don't want Charlotte to look completely weak against Asuka. So we're going to have Carmella come out, pull the Seth Rollins, and she goes to pin or do something to Asuka, and Asuka's going to put in the armbar, and Carmella's going to be the one to tap out. So Charlotte doesn't lose the match technically, but she didn't get pinned, but Asuka still won the title. That's what I think is going to happen. New Day versus the Usos, SmackDown Tag Team title match. Someone tell me why this match is happening again. Well, apparently, there was a group of people who did not want to see this match happen, because this match did not last very long. First off, the graphics have got to go. Second, the pancakes have got to go. The New Day are an embarrassment to the tag team division right now. They had the best tag team feud with the best feud of main roster last year with the New Day, with the Usos, but these guys have become nothing but an embarrassment. You have Big E coming out with day one-ish shirts and just rubbing them around his crotch and stuff. And I'm like, this is a kid's show. You're like pandering against the kids, but you're having one of the biggest ass clowns on the main roster, who should be a more serious guy, who had one of the better promos when the New Day and the Usos faced off in the ring the last time. And he's just sitting there with Uso merchandise and rubbing it around his crotch, putting it in his singlet and rubbing it around his crotch. I'm like, what kind of ass clown is this? This is just fucking ridiculous. I am so over the goddamn New Day. It's time to end this New Day crap. They are nothing but an embarrassment. They are just, I've had enough of them. People, they talk about how great they were as the longest reigning tag team champions of all time, when they were baby faces towards in the last 6 or 7 months of that title reign, but they were cheating to keep those titles every single time. It was fucking ridiculous. So I am over this damn New Day. Fuck the damn pancakes. I'm glad what happened to them tonight is what happened. I mean, the Usos, I don't think they should have been destroyed as much as they had, but I am so over these guys. They do openly acknowledge that the Usos had never been on the main card, yet you have the dumb fuck retard known as the Road Dogg, who is only a catchphrase in the fucking ring, or an opening segment with the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. That's the only reason they got over. And like I said, I just got done recently watching the Attitude Era. This guy was a fucking heel towards the end of his run before, the whole DX thing broke up and him and Billy Gunn got kicked out. And these guys were heel towards the end of 99 into 2000. And he's sitting there being a babyface with his ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls shit. He is not a creative genius. And you have this guy sitting there on Twitter last year saying, the main card, the pre-show is the same thing as the main card. What does it matter? It does fucking matter. If you're having Byron Saxton and Corey Graves on your pay-per-view at Fastlane acknowledging that the Usos want to be on the main card this year and not on the pre-show, and you're going to sit there and say that you're having these guys acknowledge this, and you're going to sit there and yourself as the head of creative, which you should not be, you stupid fuck, you're going to sit there and have them say that the main card, say that the Usos want to be on the main card because the main card matters. You had Ty Dillinger who should be a main card player on the pre-show. You had the Gable and Benjamin, who were just on the main card 2 months ago at the Royal Rumble, challenging for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And the next pay-per-view, they're on the pre-show. Do you think that makes any of those guys happy? Hell no. Do you think the tag team titles being on the line at SummerSlam pre-show last year made the Usos and the New Day happy? Hell no. So don't give me that shit that the pre-show is the same thing as the main card, you stupid fuck. I don't know why the hell. Just because you're Triple H's boy doesn't mean you should be in any way telling any of us fans or anybody what to do, what's good and what's not. You stupid fuck. The fact that this guy is even in charge of anything on SmackDown Live as a creative consultant just is asinine as can be. Woods and Kofi are in for this one. Woods starts the match with Jimmy, and they're talking trash to start the match until these guys both go to blows. Jay tags in and Woods eats a super kick. The Usos start to take over this match. Kofi gets the tag and goes to town on the Usos. Boom drop by Kofi, looking to trouble in paradise, but gets caught. Jay with a jumping kick. Jimmy tags in, but gets knocked to the outside. Kofi has Jay prone in the corner and hits Jay with the Usos hip shot in the corner. Pop-up Samoan drop to Woods. Boom drop to Kofi. Both going for trouble in paradise. Midnight Hour to Kofi for only a 2 count. This match pretty much broke down to, hey, if you can steal a finisher, we can steal your finisher. Jay's going for the splash in the corner and misses as Kofi moves out of the way. Kofi tags in Woods, gets rolled up for a 2 count. Super kick by Jay, then a few super kicks by Woods, who starts super kick party after super kick party. Super kick to Jay, then a splash by Kofi for a 2 count. Both teams playing, let's steal from the other team and try to win. Didn't work out. Woods and Kofi going for the double Uso splash, but Jimmy saves that Jay. The Usos go Uso crazy, taking everyone out on the outside. And that's when everything went to hell. The Bludgeon Brothers music hits. They come to the little, like, one side to the other and, meet in the middle. Take their jackets off, take their hoods off and everything, mask off for Rowan, grab their hip mallets and just head to the ring. And then the bell rings as the Bludgeon Brothers just take everybody out. They just dismantle the Usos and all 3 members of the New Day. Shot after shot. They ended up hitting one of the crucifix powerbomb onto the steel steps onto Xavier Woods, laying everyone out. It was just a nasty, man. And this looks like we might see a triple threat between these 3 teams at WrestleMania. But this match ended in a no contest, and quite honestly, I am so sick of the New Day, so I'm happy to see. I laughed and chuckled with the fact that they just got their asses handed to them with the Bludgeon Brothers. The Usos, Kofi and Big E were later on in the match said I think it was Tom Phillips said that they were being checked on by the medical guys in the back, but Xavier Woods has a spinal contusion, which of course is just playing up the storyline, and he was sent to a medical facility, probably on his way to the next town, all that good stuff. Another highlight for the highlight from Raw, of course, they have so much trouble getting this pay-per-view stretched out. That's just how it is. Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott, SmackDown Women's Championship. No Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan to start the match out, so that's a plus for the second. Morgan and Logan eventually do show up early in the match to distract Charlotte. Riott kick for only a 2 count. Riott hits the Riott kick, like, as soon as Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan come out, they distract Charlotte. Charlotte gets nailed in the back, thrown into the ring, hit with the Riott kick, and she only gets a 2 count. So I was like, what else are you going to have her do? Hit another Riott kick? She throws Charlotte back outside, pretends like something's wrong with her eyes, so Morgan and Logan can go attack her. But Naomi and Becky Lynch come out to fend those 2 off. Pretty much towards the end of the match, Becky and Naomi get tossed. While that's all going on, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan beat up on Charlotte in the corner a little bit before they get tossed, and Liv Morgan has the worst scream since Vicky Guerrero. It ain't even funny. Like, I just wanted my eardrums to pop with how bad she was just sitting there screaming and squealing. Match ends as Charlotte hits her with the spear, then into the figure 8 for a tap out. Winner is just Charlotte Flair. During the replay of the end of this match, Asuka's music hits. And I said this back on Monday, and it's about damn time they did this, because I was just so sick and so tired of the stupidity of the writers who tell them to say, oh, Asuka's going for the Raw Women's Championship. Having Alexa Bliss in the back look like she was she was scared for her life because, oh, Asuka's going to face me at WrestleMania. Have her come out the night after the Elimination Chamber and say, I can't wait to break Asuka's streak. Well, bitch, you ain't going to be doing that. Plain and simple. Well, Charlotte looks confused, but walks up to Asuka, who does come into the ring. They stare down. Asuka points to the Mania side, and it looks like her decision has been made, even though it hasn't been made official. That was that. So we are getting Charlotte versus Asuka at WrestleMania. I mean, the reason they had to do it tonight, and this is the biggest reason they had to do it tonight, you have 4 weeks before WrestleMania. You're not going to have Asuka show up on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and then show up on SmackDown the next week, and then give Kurt Angle only 3 weeks to prepare a match for WrestleMania. And I don't want Kurt Angle or anyone come out tomorrow night and have him say Nia Jax automatically gets herself a shot at the WrestleMania match against Alexa Bliss. That would be stupid. I don't care. Oh, Alexa Bliss made her cry, so we had to sit there and build a match towards that. No. If you're going to have Nia Jax make it to WrestleMania, she has to earn it. She hasn't earned anything. She lost to Asuka 3 times, one by referee stoppage, and twice clean. I do not want Kurt Angle to come out tomorrow night and be like, well, Asuka's going to SmackDown, so Nia Jax is going to win going to WrestleMania. That just spits in the face of Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. Make it if you have to make it. This is what I want to see them do. 2 matches, not a fatal 4-way. I don't want to see a fatal fucking 4-way. Have Bayley and Sasha Banks in 2 different matches to make it to tease that maybe these 2 can win and go face each other in the winner, or if you wanted to do that, but no, have it Mickie James versus Bayley, or Mickie James versus Nia Jax, or whichever, and just have it so that Nia Jax have the winners of those 2 face each other the next week on Raw, and the winner of that will go to face Alexa Bliss. I do not want to see a fatal 4-way, period. I know they're going to do that, but at least do something more original. I am so tired of seeing multi-women and men matches. Just knock it off. You have enough women. You can also of course, you can do something with Absolution as well. I mean, if you want to give Absolution something else too, have some kind of tournament thing leading up to the go home show. I don't know. I don't care. Just figure it out. No reason to have a multi-woman match or a battle royal or whatever. Figure out how to make it so it's a one-on-one number 1 contenders match in the end, and the winner goes to WrestleMania, plain and simple. Then, of course, the last match of the night was the 6-pack challenge for the WWE Championship. AJ Styles versus John Cena versus Kevin Owens versus Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. Shane McMahon is out here for the match for some reason. Owens is making his way to the ring, and Zayn, before he can even get to the ring, Sami Zayn's music hits, and Sami Zayn comes out, doesn't even look at him. Unfortunately, for the beginning of this match, my internet was knocked out for a minute, so I had to wait. I did see on Twitter that John Cena hit an attitude adjustment on everyone but AJ Styles when I got back into the show. Everyone else came back in and beat the hell out of Cena, tossing him out. So, and another thing, they say the rumors are that Ziggler is supposed to be facing Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. This would have been the night to start those plans, but they didn't do anything with that. I'm just saying. We'll get to that in a second. So apparently Cena hit everyone with an AA on everyone but Styles. Cena is eliminated when I get back into being able to see this. Everyone else brawls. Corbin tosses around Styles. He tosses him back into the ring, and then Owens into the barricade. Styles rolls up Corbin for a 2 count. Zayn back in. This match was just all types of craziness. Trying to get through this as much as I can. This match was pretty decent. Wasn't a bad. This pay-per-view overall was not bad. Just saying. Pop-up powerbomb turned into a roll for a 2 count. AJ Styles at the beginning of this match tried to pin everybody. He tried to get this match over with so he could just be done and get to WrestleMania to face Shinsuke Nakamura. This match, it's like for the first third of this match, as I say, first third of this match after the whole 4 AAs and then John Cena getting tossed out. It was AJ Styles trying to pin Corbin, and he tried to pin Ziggler, he tried to pin Zayn, he tried to pin everybody. Owens had Styles down, but Styles back up and fighting Owens on the top rope. Suplex attempt stopped by Owens with a headbutt. Corbin tosses Styles out and Cena back in. Dolph hits a DDT on the Cena, who eats a frog splash by Kevin Owens. That was a nice sequence. He had Cena up for that high up, bringing down that high DDT, and then he of course gets hit with the frog splash by Owens for a 2 count. Styles breaks that up. Parry kick to Owens. Styles going for the clash, but Owens stops that, sending Styles outside. Corbin back in and hits a choke slam backbreaker on to Kevin Owens, and then he eats a zigzag who lays both Ziggler and Zayn with a fallaway slam. Oh, that's right. Cena came back in as well after the zigzag and lays out Ziggler and Zayn with a fallaway slam. Double 5-knuckle shuffles. Blah. Cena with an AA, but turned into a famouser. He goes for the AA on Ziggler, and I'll give Ziggler credit for this one. This was a cool little get out. He hits the famouser for only a 2 count. Ziggler starts teaming with the band. Super kick turned into an STF. Styles back in to stop Ziggler from tapping. Styles Clash turned into an AA attempt, blocked into a Styles Clash for only a 2 count. This match started picking up more steam. Zayn starts pounding on Styles. He then goes after Corbin, who drops Zayn. Then hits the Dream Crusher clothesline. That's what they call it, the Dream Crusher. I don't know if that's the actual name for, that coming out of the ring, back into the ring clothesline that Corbin hits. They called it the Dream Crusher. I don't know if he actually meant that as a name, but I'm going with it. Then a deep 6 on Styles. Ziggler goes for the DDT, gets tossed in the air. Corbin goes for the end of days, but Ziggler gets out of the ring and gets tossed into the crowd. And for whatever reason, I think this took him and Corbin out of the match. I'm pretty sure it did. He throws him into the crowd, and Corbin, instead of going back to face others and try and win the match, he follows Ziggler into the crowd to do more damage. Corbin ends up getting him over to this plexiglass stuff for when the Columbus Blue Jackets plays there, I'm pretty sure, and just bull rushes Ziggler, hitting into the plexiglass barrier, taking them both right out of the match. Then Owens cleans off the announce table, looks to put Styles through the English announce table, but Styles nails Owens with a jump kick, then clotheslines Zayn into the timekeeper area. Cena then grabs Owens and goes for a AA on Owens, but Owens gets out of that, and he does hit Styles through the table, laying Styles out for the majority of the rest of the match until the final bit. So pretty much at this time, Zayn, Owens, and Cena are the only 3 still up. Everyone else, Corbin, Ziggler, and Styles, were all laid out in other parts of the arena. Cena tosses Owens in, but Owens with a boot to the face on Cena. It's down to Zayn and Owens, who are only ones in the ring. Zayn looks to lay down. You could hear him say, "I told you I'm a man of my word, and I'm going to do this." He slowly starts to get down to lay down. Owens is reluctant to actually lay down. He goes to grab Zayn by the neck, pull him up, but Zayn rolls up Owens for a 2 count, and these two come to blows like they've done before. The crowd just starts going wild for this. Owens grabs Zayn on the outside and tosses him into the barricade like a ton of bricks. Then he goes to powerbomb him on the corner like he's done many times before, but Zayn, for the first time ever, catches the ropes. Then Owens gets up on the apron as well and tries to hit Zayn this time, but Zayn with a back body drop onto the apron. Zayn then, for whatever reason, goes over and starts taunting Shane. He's like, "You have a good enough seat, Shane? This is what you wanted, didn't you? This is what you wanted to happen between me and him." Shane gets up, doesn't do anything, just like, "Get away from me," just goes to sit back down. Owens is back up. Zayn goes to super kick Zayn in the face. Zayn moves, and Shane gets hit with a super kick. Zayn with a DDT through the ropes onto the outside. I like that move. It was really cool. Zayn rolls Owens up and rolls Owens inside and goes for a haluva kick, but it's a super kick. Oh, Ziggler did come back and goes for a zigzag, but it's a pop-up powerbomb, only to get a 2 because Shane pulls the referee out of the ring. Of course, gets Owens up, and he's pissed as hell. He goes to the corner and starts yelling at Shane. This gives Sami Zayn the chance to hit the haluva kick. Referee comes back inside. 1, 2. Shane pulls Sami out. They start arguing. Dolph Ziggler gets back into the ring, gets in the ring again, and tries to pin Owens, but Zayn stops him there. Corbin's laid out. No, Corbin does come back into the match. He gets the steel steps and starts laying everybody out but AJ Styles with the steel steps. He brings him in the ring and, of course, starts hitting everybody. He does try to hit Cena again, but Cena stops him and grabs the stairs himself and hits Corbin twice with the steel, and then hits him with an AA on the steps. He only gets a 2 count because Ziggler stops that. Cena picks the stairs back up and tries to nail Ziggler with the steps, but he does move and eats an AA. Cena goes for a second one, but Owens back in, hits the pop-up powerbomb. All of a sudden, AJ Styles comes up and hits the phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles, after being out for half of the match. And that's one of my biggest problems with this, is that he was out for half of the match. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles is going to WrestleMania, and we have AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania. Still, I do not want, and I'm telling you right now, the rumor, and this is what I don't get. I do not want Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens coming out on Tuesday, bitching and complaining that they should be WWE champion going to WrestleMania, and we somehow get a fatal four-way at WrestleMania with those two added in, and it's still just Styles and Nakamura. But the rumor going around is that the entire Zayn versus Owens versus McMahon storyline is dead. Doesn't look dead to me. Does not look dead to me. You still had Shane screwing Zayn and Owens out of the WWE Championship tonight. So how are you going to take this and make it for Dolph Ziggler versus Shane at WrestleMania? It makes no sense to me. You have 4 weeks till WrestleMania. How are you going to take this from where it is now to WrestleMania? How are you going to just cut off the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Shane McMahon storyline and then transition it over to a Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon storyline? It makes no sense. He didn't do anything to Dolph Ziggler today. He didn't screw Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler and him had no interaction. So how are you going to justify Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon, and Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania? How are you going to get we want the conclusion of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. I know Daniel Bryan, he wasn't there tonight. They said a family function, whatever. But how are you going to have, even tonight, they still continued with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Shane. So I don't know where they're going to sit there and just drop this out of the blue and we're going to have Dolph Ziggler versus Shane McMahon. It makes no sense. Now, coming out of tonight's show, we have, it looks like, a triple threat tag team match, a triple threat U.S. title match, and a singles and two singles championship matches with the women's title and the WWE Championship. Other than that, the rest of SmackDown really has no direction. We still don't know what's going to happen with Shane and how it's going to get to Shane and Dolph Ziggler. It makes no sense, especially after the result tonight. If you wanted Shane McMahon and Dolph Ziggler to have any kind of feud, you should have started something tonight. But you didn't. I don't know what they're going to go with. So tonight, we had that. It's over. Fastlane's done. We are 4 weeks away from WrestleMania with Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, Charlotte versus Asuka. We have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. We have Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. And that's all, I believe. That's four matches right there. I could be missing something else, but I believe those are the only 4 matches assured for WrestleMania. Now, what do I see happening now? U.S. Championship match will probably be a triple threat. I see the Bludgeon Brothers in the New Day versus the New Day versus the Usos, which I don't want to see that really. I'd rather see the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day between now and WrestleMania and have the Bludgeon Brothers just steamroll through them. So it's the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos at WrestleMania. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. What's going to happen to the rest of the undercard? Battle Royal. Everyone else is going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Fandango, Breezango, Ty Dillinger, Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin, and Ty Dillinger are all going to, and Mojo Rawley are all going to be in the Battle Royal. What happens with the Riot Squad? Hopefully on Tuesday we'll have some kind of thing where they break up and we don't have them anymore because they are just, it's enough. It's over. Their mission failed. They have no direction towards WrestleMania, so just end it. There is no reason whatsoever for them to stick together. They have no mission. We have Asuka versus Charlotte. Asuka's already beaten everybody on Raw. She has a whole crop of women on SmackDown to go through. She has Charlotte and the Riot Squad when they break up. She has Becky Lynch, Naomi, Natalya, Carmella, who's going to probably go to WrestleMania, pull a Seth Rollins, but be unsuccessful. WrestleMania looks like it's going to be, on paper, it's a good card right now. You have, other than the Universal title match, which we don't want to see, you have the mixed tag match. You have Nakamura versus AJ Styles. You have Charlotte versus Asuka. You have probably Bayley versus Sasha Banks, which that would be a good match. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, don't know. The Intercontinental title's in a triple threat, so we're probably going to see like rinse and repeat, copy and paste to SmackDown. We will see. So we have 4 weeks to build for both shows now. SmackDown's got to start building. Raw's already been building for like the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens. Well, I'll be back here tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and then NXT, which will be the last tapings from Center Stage in Atlanta. Anybody who thought that last week was the last episode at Center Stage, you are a bomb-fool idiot. We will see you guys tomorrow. My name is The France. Find me on Facebook. Not Facebook. I don't know why I keep saying Facebook. But find me on Twitter at The France. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I'm there every single day, minus a couple times here and there. We will be back, of course, tomorrow for Raw, as I said before, and then SmackDown, and then NXT, as we get ready for the road to WrestleMania, which will be high gear from here on out. Until then, I am getting out of here, and I'll see you guys later.